what is the darkness?
The darkness for me is just my self-doubt. If I'm fast enough to do a race, if I'm strong enough to complete the race, get through the workouts, and just be strong enough to do what I want to do. Just the fear that's there that I'm not strong enough or fast enough.
The darkness for me is my mind and learning how to go past my comfort zone in everything, actually, which is why I'm like pursuing endurance sports, to be mentally stronger and physically stronger. So.
I think I'm the most dark when you're trying over the course of a season to get enough fitness for your race or to do whatever, the big goal for the year is, and you get injured or there's something that interferes with the plan.
To me, it really means two things. It means uncertainty, and it means pushing into or beyond a level of discomfort, and having confidence that when you get in there, you've got something left to deliver.
So for me, the darkness is when my head gets ahead of me and I start fearing the anticipation of the suffering. It's like, I love to work and I'm not afraid to suffer and I'm not afraid of doing the work, but it's the anticipation of the work.
The darkness for me, as far as obstacles go, might be an emotional obstacle, imposter syndrome, uncontrollables, that nature, which is, when those things when you allow those things to get to be too big and not actively acknowledging them or managing them, the darkness can just close in.
The darkness, so I'm actually someone who's suffers from depression. So for me, darkness is about being depressed. And I liken it to, Winston Churchill called depression, the black dog is visiting.
For me, it's very emotional. It's very personal that I will not be able to finish what I started 7 years ago and become an Ironman.
As a woman, once you go through menopause and different things as you age, like I see so many of my peers that are just incapable of doing things that I think they probably want to do. And so I'm just not willing to just accept things like life changes, just like, oh, it's inevitable.
Darkness for me is stillness and peace. I honestly believe that I ascend into darkness and I feel elevated and sort of out of my head. It helps me dispense with thoughts that I think hold me back and allows me to really do the work.
If you don't embrace the darkness, you're never going to grow as a person internally and externally. There's, like I said, fears and doubts. If you let those hold you back, you're never going to accomplish your feats, your goals. You're never going to see what your potential is. And if you remain in the darkness and don't go towards that light, you're going to just be asking yourself, what if, the whole entire time.
Yeah, I think embracing the darkness, it will just make me stronger mentally and physically. I don't want to stay the way I am. I want to keep moving forward in my life.
Whether it's at the end of a race or a really hard training day, or in the midst of some super high intensity effort, there's a moment where your body tries to say quit. And to me, that's going from the light to the dark. And in that darkness is a level of performance that you're not really sure you have.
I think it's really important. We can get caught up in the darkness a lot, depending on what it is. So I think it's important to have, and we all have our own personal experiences and past and history and baggage. So I think it's important to have a strategy to meet those feelings and to manage through them in a healthy way, and not avoid them so that they get in the way of us achieving what we're trying to accomplish.
For me, it's a way of kind of settling my mind and gaining back control. So it's that understanding that where I am is where I'm supposed to be. I mean, my lungs are supposed to be burning right now, or you're supposed to feel tired at 40 minutes into a run, or kind of where just it's understanding where you are and then settling my mind and coming back. So for me, a lot of the darkness is just in my head.
Important to embrace the darkness is you got to prove to yourself that you can get through difficult times, and it might not be comfortable, it might be a little painful, but it's physically possible, it's mentally possible.
Most of the time when you go in there, it works out well, but you just tend to shy away from it. So in my mind, the darkness is like, it's an opportunity to go explore areas and parts of myself that I've not explored before.
So if you can stop and acknowledge the problem and then trying to come up with a solution, I mean, isn't that the same skill you need on race day? Isn't that the same skill you need in life, etc.? So
when I feel like I'm getting into that hole and I just want to just give up, I just have to remind myself that no, you need to grab on tighter. You need to learn from this lesson that whatever it's throwing at you, you can't stop now until your body gives out. You'll never learn unless you try and unless you keep going. You can't hide. And through my whole life, I've always been fighting and fighting and fighting, and I'm just not ready to give up, and so why not embrace it? Why let it beat you down? Why don't you show that darkness who's really in control?